Hi, we are
Goose,
and you're
watching
Berlin
Music.
TV.
Die belgische Band Goose gibt es nun schon seit 13 Jahren. Die vier Jungs begannen ihre Karriere eigentlich als AC/DC-Coverband und gewannen nach zweijährigem Bestehen bereits einen renommierten Musikwettbewerb für Newcomer Bands. Besonders bekannt wurde das Quartett allerdings durch den Song Audience, der in ganz Europa zum Soundtrack der Coca-Cola-Werbung wurde. Heute ist die Musik der Belgier eher synthi-lastig. Das hat der Energie der Songs jedoch keineswegs einen Abbruch getan.
Und damit herzlich willkommen hier in Berlin im Indigo Hotel. Und neben mir sitzen Goose am Tisch. How are you guys?
Hi, we're good. We had a good rest and we're ready for you.
And you as well?
Yeah, I'm fine.
New album, Control, Control, Control. Congratulations at the beginning. And how's it feeling to have finished another album?
Good, and we're really proud of it. And it was a fun album to make in the way that it felt like holidays, the recording process. We recorded it in the south of Belgium, in the mountains, in a studio, and the studio was completely hired for ourselves. So there was the four of us, two engineers and a producer, and as we were playing everything live, the only thing that we had to do was to play live, and the producer said it's a good take or it's a bad take.
Yeah. No woman, no girlfriend?
No animals, nothing.
Actually nothing. Cool.
Only a producer.
Why do you have actually just 3 albums? You are playing together since 11 years. Do you need the time or?
Well, in a way, it's our 4th album, because Tom mentioned the other day that we didn't really make our first album. We collected a lot of songs because we were playing a lot live, but somehow we never released all those tracks. So we skipped, in a way, the first album. So we went immediately to the more to bring it on. Officially, that's the first album that we released. But
and how long is it ago?
First album was 2006. Then we spent 2 years of touring with the first album and 2 years of writing the second one. So in 2010 we released Sunrise, and now we're only 2012 and we have already a new one. So it's getting faster. We're getting there.
You said a long time ago that you will never make the same sound. Does it mean that we expect every time a new sound of Goose?
Well, we try to surprise ourselves every time, and for the last album with Control, we decided to record everything live as a band. So that's the main difference between this album and the previous two, because the previous two were created in a studio atmosphere, layer by layer, and now the songs were already there when we went into the studio, so we had just to set up our gear and play, and I think we managed to capture the energy that we have when we perform live on stage and put it on an album. So yes, it sounds different again, but maybe it sounds closer to what Goose is today.
Yeah, it's just every record is a moment in time when you know how the band sounds like, and there's always an evolution in what we do, and that's the interesting part of Goose. I think that we come from a rock background maybe, and then introduced synthesizers, and then got drifted away a little bit maybe in the synthesizers, and then combined the best of the both worlds again, and this is where we are now, and it feels comfortable.
Do you think that your fans changed?
Changed? I don't know. Maybe the audience got bigger over the years.
Yeah, and wider. We hear from a lot of people that, like maybe people in their 40s, that recognize sounds of their youth. So for them, some of the tracks sound nostalgic, but then in a 2012 version.
What does the word control mean or symbolize for you?
It has a double meaning. It's about giving control and taking control. Giving control to a producer is what we have done for the first time, which felt good and liberating. But on the other hand, we also took control by creating our own record company, where we have the freedom to release what we want and when we want, without having somebody looking over our shoulders telling us what to do.
Yeah, you've been dropped your new album through Safari Records. Why you changed? Before was it K7?
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what Tom says, because we want to have more creative freedom, and yeah.
Because the first album was another record, like another label as well, huh?
Yeah. That was, well, in fact, it was a great label. Was Könnt in Brighton, and yeah. But I think we're at a certain point in our career where we wanted to have control over our music, and like Tom says, decide when we put out music and what projects we take on. Like, for instance, we just finished to make a magazine, so we interviewed people that we worked with over the years. We interviewed people that inspire us. So the magazine is not only about us, like, oh yeah, how cool we are, but or not, but it's more about our world, things that we find interesting and that we want to share with other people. And yeah, it should be out in Germany as well in a couple of months.
You said once in the interview that you would describe yourselves as a rock band, simply using synthes instead of guitars. Is it the same? What is a synthesizer for you? What is special?
I think at first we were interested in the synthesizers because it provided us new sounds, something that we could not create with guitars.
Yeah, the synths were interesting, but it got only very interesting by the time that we started to use the synth as a guitar. We created our own thing with it, and yeah, the rock feel is still there. We still feel like we are a rock and roll band, but using synthesizers.
Since 2002, a few of your music have been in commercials and video games. Would you describe that as an alternative market for musicians to sell their music?
Yeah, it's something that is very common these days, and yes, it's an alternative way to put your music out. You have the radio, but there's so much music and not enough radio stations. So you have television, but not enough music channels. So yeah, you look for alternatives, and our music fits really well on screen when it comes to movies or a series. It's very filmic sometimes, our music, so that's the next step maybe for us to create a real soundtrack for a movie.
You played in Berlin. How was it actually?
Well, it's always good. It surprises us. We don't play too much in Berlin, but every time we play here, it's always packed and it's always full.
After your concert in Berlin, you have some days off. 1 week, I think. Yeah. Are you flying back home or to Belgium or?
Yeah, we go back home, and I think we're gonna sleep for 2 or 3 days, and then work on some music in the studio.
You guys played now nearly 12 years together, I think. At the end, we want to know what about your plans in the future? Do you think that you get old with a band?
Yeah. Why not?
Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
It's not something you think about when you start a band, but as you get older, you start to think about it more. So who knows? we don't have any plans to stop. We're just gonna go on for as long as it can.
There's so much stuff that is still lined up. Like we just finished the album that is out right now, but we're dying to start and record new songs. So hopefully somewhere next year, towards the end of the year, we have something new. We're working on a documentary. So every time we play and we go on tour, there's somebody who films it. So
when we can see.
Well, he's not here today because he's still in the bus. But yeah, it should be ready by the end of next year as well. We're making 8 videos for most of the tracks of the album. We have recorded 4 already, and it's us playing live in an empty television studio. So these are all...
Is it more difficult?
Well, no, it's much more fun.
Play alone.
Yeah, to play. Yeah. Well, it's different. Yeah, you have to focus but yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's in a way it's a very honest music video. Yeah. It's just like it used to be in the old days, where a band would just go on a empty TV studio and play the songs, and that was basically just what we did.
How do you play live? What can we expect?
A lot of energy, obviously, and we play songs for our 3 albums. We try to combine songs for Bring It On, Sinrise, and now Control. And I think we managed to make a good party set. And yeah, we're working really hard on the live show, the lights. So this tour is really the small club, so we cannot bring all our lights. But I'm sure the next tour we're gonna bring the full production, and we're gonna blow you away with our lights.
Okay, you are the singer actually of the band. Do you lose sometimes the voice?
Oh yes.
Yeah, a lot.
Not a lot, but every year it happens that I lose my voice, and it's so stressful. Then I cannot speak to my friends for a couple of days. And you start to get depressed because you cannot speak. You're like...
Is it stressful for you?
I think it's holidays for them.
Yeah, we're really happy when it happens. No, it's not true. But indeed, it's when there are too many shows. For Michael, it's hard for his voice. So we try to put in a day of rest every 5 days or something, if it's possible.
So I thank you so much for the interview. It was really nice. Do you have some last words, maybe?
We'll be back.
We love you, Berlin.
Nice. Thank you very much.